Ready to achieve some new cinematic shots with your FPV drone? Here are 10 moves to inspire you. And if you want to learn even more cinematic tricks, check out my free FPV training in the description. The skydive is a simple move from the perspective of a skydiver, just fly high up and remove throttle when pitching forward. As soon as you come closer to the ground, you can start adding throttle again to start moving with the landscape. It looks even more epic when you start from the clouds. The shot feels like the viewer is the skydiver who soon arrives at the location. So it's perfect to introduce the location of a new scene. Orbit your subject while keeping the camera centered at it. It highlights the subject from multiple angles, adding depth and perspective. Maintain a consistent speed for a smooth, professional look. To make it easier, you can start from further away and then transition into the orbit by pushing yaw and roll into the opposite direction. Try to smoothly adjust yaw and roll during the whole orbit to keep your subject centered. You can even level up your orbit when you start with approaching your person. This builds lots of tension because the viewer feels like he's flying against the subject, but right before hitting it, start your orbit. This will also reveal the whole location for the viewer after he only saw it from one perspective in the beginning. An even more complicated shot is the no-look orbit. You have to orbit your subject while flying through obstacles that you can't see. It works exactly like a normal orbit, but for this move, it's important to get a feeling of the location, because you have to imagine all the obstacles that are above, below and on the right side without even seeing them. This is by far the most difficult orbit, but also the most captivating one. With a 180 flip, the ground and sky swap places, which can be visually stunning and disorientating in a captivating way. Use this move to showcase a dramatic turn of events or to transition between different scenes. But with all of these and the following movements, we have a problem. Our FPV drone doesn't record any useful sound, and this is where I love to use Artlist. Here are 3 ideas how you can use sound effects for your FPV clips. First, we want the viewer to feel the environment. This is why we have to use an ambient sound. On Artlist, you can for example look for tropical forest ambience and you'll get lots of high quality results. Then the most important sound effect for FPV drone videos is a whoosh. Just type it on Artlist and you'll find many options. Use them to highlight fly-throughs and let the viewer feel how close it was. Last but not least, add Foleys. What are the most important objects in your videos? The waves, or maybe your friend running? Guess what, for everything you'll find the right sound effect on Artlist. The sound often makes more than 50% of your video, so make sure to check out my Artlist offer in the description. The 180 drift keeps the subject at the center of the frame while providing a dynamic rotating perspective. It looks especially stunning while flying through gaps. It's a move that needs more training, because you have to precisely adjust yaw and roll of your drone. Start while flying straight and then start the move as soon as you're close to the subject. If you own the DJI Avata 2, it will be more easy to do this shot because on the Motion Controller 3 you can easily activate the Easy Acro feature and find 180 drift. The dive is a high-speed descent from a significant altitude, typically down the side of a cliff or a building. It creates a sense of excitement and keeps tension during the whole clip because the viewer fears that the drone will hit the wall or the rocks. The best way is to start from a high position and smoothly transition into the dive by removing throttle. Then all you have to do is slightly adjust the throttle again to avoid hitting the surface. Also, when diving, make sure to keep visual line of sight to maintain good connection and not lose your drone. The Split S is an FPV freestyle move, which will also bring you cinematic shots. You start by approaching a building while maintaining the same altitude. Then at the same time, you remove the throttle, do a 180 flip and adjust your pitch so that the bottom of your FPV drone faces the building. After that, it's just a regular dive, where you have to adjust your throttle to not hit the surface. This perfectly transitions from a calm scenario into an action-packed scene. For a low-pass shot, all you need is an interesting landscape. A beach, rocks, river, whatever. All you have to do is to adjust the throttle to not hit the ground. The closer you fly, the better it looks, but the more risky it is. First try it on a soft surface, like grass, to get a feeling for the limit. Chasing subjects is one of the most fun things to do with FPV drones. For example, when filming cars, try to follow them from behind to get a feeling of their speed. And then you can, for example, start approaching the subject from the side and continue following it. You can also use every single FPV drone movements that you've learned in this video, like orbits, to bring more variety into your chase shots. For this movement, the most important thing is to adjust the angle of your FPV camera correctly so you can keep up with the speed of your subject. What's your favorite FPV drone move? Write it down in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, make sure to follow and leave a like if you liked this video. See you soon.